let's see.
I'm not seeing anything that would make a ship illegal.
Well, you can't spawn a ship if it's illegal. So we have Team Blue on the right and Team Lime on the left, by the way. I'm not sure if this is the same for you, but that is what it looks like on my screen.
Who's on the left?
Lime.
Yeah.
Alright, please refer to that accordingly. And I can still hear myself, so please fix that. Okay, so Alpha is being contested aggressively, as per the startup of most matches, with just a lot of skirmishing. It's not being captured by anyone, but it's just having a lot of bodies thrown at the problem, which does typically work, of course. To my understanding, most ships are built with the designation of just being fire and forget in a certain sense, where you assign them to go get the objective, and then they go and get the objective. And you just have a lot of armor and defenses to deal with it. And you don't need reverse thrust because you're just gonna out armor your opponent, ideally.
I have a feeling these bigger ships, like the one that Simako's piloting, are probably very driven. Like maybe have one person drive while the other person uses the smaller ships.
Yeah, I imagine that you would want to be directly controlling the larger ships because you can get more mileage out of them and effectiveness because, it scales with how large and effective your ship is.
Also, it's
So,
kind of difficult to pilot a small ship without overturning. You got to have a lot more practice for that.
yeah, especially given the lag that is currently taking place on top of, let's see, on top of like just how finicky it can be at 1x speed with how fast they are.
Very interesting nuke design that Mealy is using. Not particularly
Yes.
fast, but it seems to be decently accurate against people that aren't paying attention.
Yeah, the nuke ships are basically counter to wall ships like Zamako's CAC because they have a difficult time dodging, but it won't matter if they just capture Charlie.
That
That's
that was pretty fast.
that's been one of the faster matches. So very quickly, we have Colin South spawning with pretty signature ships where they are highly microable and it must be piloted to get their max effectiveness. Kawa already going for Bravo, the cartridge ship that was sent into play having problems getting to it. Salif's kiting effectively with the ion ship. This armor is nothing but a hindrance and will really only serve to slow Salif's down. This ship spawned in likely to counter it with the disruptors and cannons. It's a very fragile ship. It relies mostly on distance to maintain its survival, but as you can see, the cannon ling is moving way, way too fast, as well as the EMPs that come in. These are both dead ships. There's no way they can get back in time. Alpha captured, always a bad sign for a given team. Echo and Charlie are being sent after. Kawa must have lost his Buchanan near Bravo. And it is back to... It is completely the Team Orange is on the back foot. Salif spawns in a rail orbiter pretty good, but it's not going to be able to capture all of these points very quickly, especially if it leaves them on accident. It's currently stuck sitting on Charlie for the time being. Kawa spawns in a DC rammer with hooks, a massive trough to feed upon the ships, of course, and it is not really going to be taken down. The issue with that type of ship for your opponent is that it's such a high concentration of firepower, damage, speed, and armor that you can't outgun it, you can't outtake it, and you can't outrace it. So you can't escape, you can't kill it. That are typically, to fight such ships, you need to spawn your own so that you're on even grounds. Because like these nukes, even though they hurt, they could have just been dodged if Call had been piloting better, and they were mostly just ignored for the time being. More ships are going to be continually fed into it as the fight goes on. Salas trying to contest Alpha. Kawa is coming in, showing him how it's actually done. And Salas is struggling to get past the main armor. And the main thing you want to do when you're in this setup against these opponents is capture the other points. If you can't contest a firepower ship, or the firepower of a given ship, then just don't. And these super heavy, super slow ships might be able to take on Salus, but they won't Kawa. Kawa's just going to come and kill them. So I would say one would want to go for Echo and Charlie, because you're just going to be so distracted in the meantime. Kawa spawns in a laser kite, it would appear. Very tanky one at that. With blasters. Very interesting ship. Kawa continuing to kill more things. Really just being completely unimpeded as he does so. Alpha is remaining to be green, very sickly green. Salif spawns in a deck cannon ship of their own. I think Kawa is the better pilot, but Salif will still demonstrate that with enough deck cannons, anything can be made to be dead. However, that being said, it is taking too long to actually kill these ships for them to capture Alpha, so it's remained green this entire match. And though the cost inadequacy is being made up for right now, it is Team Green still has a lot more money that they're making right now. And then that was Kawa disconnecting, actually. This is a pre-recorded match, it's not live, that's why there's no lag whatsoever. But Kawa disconnected, so now it is just Salif versus Commandant and Eno Shade. Let's see if Salif can bring it back. Alpha neutralized, very done. Echo is likely to be neutralized here. Salif's not using the ships that they spawn in. This is one of the downsides of having such micro-heavy ships where you give your full attention to one ship with direct control, is that you're giving all of your attention to one ship. And this is clearly coming at a cost because currently Alpha and Echo are being taken. Well, Echo's currently abandoned, no one cares, but Alpha is taken, which means the Salus has 2 minutes to get 2 points. So first up we have Shade and Commandant on the left side. Salifs and Kawa spawning with the same ships again. The Ion ship is probably, hopefully, going to get more runtime this time around. This ship can't escape, and it's going to die. Um, they are being led on a merry chase by Kawa with the cannon. Salifs is going to get another victim. The other ship didn't learn its lesson. Fortunately, Shade is rotating it accurately this time, not paying attention. You need to pay attention, otherwise you're just going to be like feeding ships into it. And the Cannonling is coming in again to wreak havoc, to really punish it for its crimes. Yep, that's right. It's probably a ship half the cost that just took it out without a sweat. Well, the captain was probably sweating a little bit with all that armor gone. And it is going to run circles again around that D2, given that it's so much faster. And it does have energy weapons, so that is winnable. Alpha's being captured pretty effectively. Kawa is going to be skirting around the edge, or that's what I would be doing. And it seems to be what Kawa's doing, skirting around the edge to prevent its capture. And changes his mind, goes to Go or Charlie or whatever. Anyhow, Bravo continuing to not be captured. Kawa just not caring about the cannon lane, choosing to try and recuperate some of the losses with the DC wall. Of course, does kill the ship very effectively. Salifs with another ion kite. Two tiny fighters spawned in to try and take out the cannon lane. They miss completely, and the spinning in circles continues. Oof. Shade coming to cause more problems, as if the single ship that was leading 3 of them on a chase wasn't enough. The two small fighters disengage, break off to fight it. Still remains the case that it is 3 for Team Yellow and Bravo neutralized, so 1 for Team Pink. Kawa continuing to kill stuff for fun. It's worth noting that every time it kills a ship, it has to either wait for the corpse to melt, because ships without control rooms do not, they don't function as ships, they just smelt as if they were outside of the ring of death. The laser fighter was probably chased out by another cannonling. Managed to win, but, didn't win. All repairing at home. And yeah, the corpses, you have to either spin to get rid of them, you have to shoot through them, break them down manually, or wait for them to melt. Otherwise, they're just going to be in your way, blocking your shots. And as you can see, the ship is a large amount of armor and structure in the way that just prevents it from being cleared out very easily. Salus with his rail orbiter again, shooting ships from behind, not very nice. As anyone who's watched the team tournament knows, that rail orbiters are absolutely lethal if they get behind anything. And This is lots going on right here. And the thing about rail orbiters is that they are very difficult to preempt, especially when you're giving them this many different ships to fire on and this many different angles to fire from. D2 lost, probably Salve, Surkawa that wasn't paying attention to it, too busy microing their ships. And that wasn't anyone disconnecting, everybody still seems to be functioning, so that's nice. It's worth noting that the fog of war is actually on, so some players might not be able to see asteroids. So that could explain some slightly strange patterns. Don't get the ships in each other's way, please. Oh no. See, this is why you want to have ships that have more than one direction to thrust, otherwise they get stuck like that. Next up, we have Eddie64 and Graphon Manual spawning in the top left, versus Yugi and Sidefox spawning on the right in the purple. So very quickly, both teams are demonstrating very swarmy tactics, especially the purple team with much smaller ships and more of them, with the exception of this very large ship that's coming to take the center, whether you like it or not. And the other ships just get completely melted here. Alpha very quickly captured. Echo already contested and captured, which is very impressive. The ships from Team Cyan are just not holding up. Very low firepower, a lot of armor that just doesn't matter because it's on the wrong sides and such. Very quickly, as they're already gonna win. They won. Well done, Yuki and Sad Fox.
Beacons? What are they called? Teleporter. Um, my
Oh,
brain's dying.
off to a very fast start here.
As is usual with and Hansel Cat.
Yes,
Both teams.
and Hansel Cat are very scary players. Name and Halloween proved themselves to also be scary. So we're definitely seeing a much larger focus on numbers here, which I think makes sense because, Ant and Hansel Cat are veterans and know how to take advantage of it properly. So, they are very much taking advantage of the fact that this is an RTS game.
Hansel
Not
Cat losing one of his ships on the right side. All these fast ships are gonna be able to run back for repairs quite easily.
if they survive, of course, and if they have the energy to do so. I'm pretty sure none of these ships on the field have reactors for the most part. Like the one is the Varus Mark III that got spawned early.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's you right. See, Hansel Cat taking Bravo and Echo.
So the interesting thing is that the Varus being deployed at the center killed it held the line as like the anchor and killed several ships by itself, which is I think a good demonstration of why deck cannons are so powerful, is you can put them behind so much armor and they still deal so much damage.
Echo just Cyan just has 1 point left.
Team 1 very aggressively capturing all the points, yeah.
Cyan will probably take. Actually, they should pay attention because it really Prague was in an interesting position. Two ships not facing each other. It's about to end bad for Hollow. Oh my. That was the full ship that just got destroyed because it wasn't paying attention.
So to my understanding, the tactics here are to extract as much value as possible, which is why all of these ships are very similar. It's 4 large cannons, no reactor, mostly forward thrust. And it's a very common archetype. We saw it all of last tournament, and we're seeing a lot of it here now. Because, of course, it is very effective. And it can just outcompete any other, fighter. Like, trying to use a Buchanan here, for example. It's like, even if you can presumably out-micro an opponent, you won't be winning a fight when you're having 3 times as much firepower pointed at you.
Seems like Science struggling with their ships getting stuck on each other. I see three fully healthy ships just piled up at one place right below Bravo.
Oof.
That is pretty unfavorable loss right there.
Probably a demonstration of the experience difference here, in that Team Blue has been largely keeping their ships very separate from one another and performing just fine. I would say that they
Yes.
do have a lot of ships that need to be sent home because they don't have any ammo left. But
See it on
past that,
Bravo, Cat and A&D run into each other and make a sandwich.
oh, so are their opponents, so it balances out. But yeah, 4 of the 5 points already captured with no cyan points left.
No, everything's just rushing Bravo. That's the one ship defending Echo, kind of.
Yeah, Hansel does need to. No, that's the same team still. Never mind. Team Cyan very quickly being pushed out from the game. The police car, a ship that appears to be just a armor stick that exists to hold a point.
Yeah, there goes Bravo very quickly. Echoes, as long as Echo holds on, which it seems like it will. Actually, no, Name got a big ship on Bravo, so that's back in the game now.
Let's see, they. The thing is that even if you have like the same strategy of holding a point, it's like you need more points to start with to like then draw it out. Because if you don't have more points, like the team facing Kawa did, then you will just be bled out through more and more ships. Because
Yeah,
like
now there's
currently,
just that one ship that's abandoning the point. Um, Brick just abandoned the point. That's means that's just doing what?
well, nukes were coming and it was gonna be dead otherwise.
Yeah, that is true.
And that
It
is
was.
gonna be... No,
Oh,
not yet. Nobody's on the point.
Megan Smith can also abandon the point.
So it's worth noting, even though there is a ship there, you need to have the ship be above minimum value. And if your ship gets damaged and it is at minimum value, oof, that's a hard. That hurts.
Oh,
Nicely done. And then
it's kind of
Hanselcat
when you go
defending
up
their
against
title.
the favorites who really. All right, here we go.
Wow, this is probably the most spread out a map has been thus far.
This map is just like split into two sections, but you only need to hold the north section to win. So
Hmm. Suppose that is true. Interesting case of the Chimera ship. Haven't seen anything like it with a deck cannon and 3 nuke launchers on the side. Very interesting. I wonder what the thought process was behind that one.
oh, that's thought we had a DC for a second. They are fighting over both sides, so
It seems to be the case that Team Blue is committing a lot more to the um top zones.
the nukes did a decent amount of side damage to CAD TP, taking out the control room and almost a reactor.
That's probably gonna be the rest of the firepower that it imparts on that ship, though.
Yeah, those EMPs are brutal, but it's one more shot. If that shot lands well, they got to fire it now, though. Oh, they just ran.
Yeah, that makes sense, really.
Yeah. They could have taken it out though. And now the other guy's gonna run too, I assume. No reason not to. Unless he gets destroyed first.
Nice.
Or just destroyed that, so I guess that was well played. And now that nuke ship's just headed back all repaired and everything.
Back to full health, like it wasn't even damaged.
So I guess that was real well played. Maybe there was a control room issue once they lost the one control room.
Nuke ship seems to be coming into play to remove the fortress from Ketcha.
Oh, the nukes just missed, and whatever hit was blocked by ketchup. So I can't TP it.
Unfortunate.
That nuke ship is
No.
dispensable pretty much, unless it runs and gets refilled.
Yes, no ammo left for the Ketcha though, so it needs to, or for the fortress, so it needs to go home so it can actually continue fighting.
Really interesting choice to use four small storages instead of one large one.
Yeah, I'm
Same
not sure.
size,
I'm not
but
sure
now
what the thought process there is really.
they're paying for a lot more doors. But more importantly, full ammo storage is slightly explosive, and now the barrier to destroy one and have the rest chain is much lower than having one giant one that can't really chain with other storages.
Well, the reason that you would want that is presumably because you can assign storages to be closer, which ultimately improves reload times a little bit if your ship is spending any amount of time outside of combat.
Oh
But
yeah, to move everything up.
yeah, but the issue is that if it does spend time, or if it's constantly in combat, then that never matters. So it's just a specific tuning, I suppose.
It's a
Or
nuke ship getting harassed down by Bravo that might lose its just sitting there. Oh, never mind, it's moving.
has a ship assigned to be behind it to protect it, it seems.
Yeah, ship's not doing all that much. It's got no guns on it, so oh, it once Delta goes, it's over. I hope Yellow recognizes that.
Too
Is
late, it
that
would seem.
yeah, that's
And there
game.
we go. Very nice.
There's still even a lot of ships on the board, but in this turn-based game, but
And the thing is, like, if you spend money on a ship, then it needs to be getting value. Otherwise, you're at a huge disadvantage. Nice dodge.
it's
Yeah, instead of just two. So the swarm tactics return as previously seen, compared to the heavier, much heavier ships of the left yellow team that has two EMP ships properly
I
paying
believe
attention.
they must yeah, I believe they paid good attention. One of those will end any of these small swarm ships.
So I think that Team Red, Crimson, whatever, will have to readjust their tactics because the EMPs
That thing
are
is dead.
already brutal. It's killed two ships and is on its way to kill more.
Issues as EMPs. Oh wait, they don't have much ammo, but they could just refill. That
Yeah,
easy.
you can just go home and refill and it's not an issue. But as you can see, Alpha very easily taken. Delta was neutralized but is being very quickly recaptured.
Seems like an EMP ship's about to meet its end.
Has no more energy to refill the control room, so it already did meet its end.
Echo just got lost. Oh, one ship getting behind. but the ship teleported away. On Alpha, there was a potential for some serious damage happen.
Yes, well done teleporting away properly. Trying to set it up preemptively is important. There is tech for setting it up to teleport instantly, but that doesn't ever seem to be used for one reason or another. Oh, those are painful nukes. No FTL to jump away this time.
So the rear reactor is very exposed.
And it's currently rotating to face... Oh no. Okay, barely survives that. Team Crimson seems to be making their way back into it. The EMP ships were not restored, and they couldn't continue being effective. So we're back to
Yeah,
the numbers game that Team Crimson wins very easily of just constant, overwhelming firepower.
using nukes on a small ship is a rare choice, but they actually managed to hit on Bravo.
Oh, if they do hit, they completely obliterate whatever they do hit. There's nothing left to speak of after the fact.
I love the important use of headlights by Hansel Cat on his nuke ship.
Yes, I appreciate the inherent flex that is using headlights, completely useless parts that cost a lot.
Alpha about to be taken. Yep, there we go.
I love how it's going back and forth, like, all of the top four were captured by Crimson, but then they just swept with the Fortress and Chimeras.
Right now, it's balanced in income.
Pretty balanced overall. Fleet value is a little bit in favor of Team 1 because they're using heavier ships that seem to be more survivable, but past that, it seems very even. A nice thing about the Chimera is that because it only has one deck cannon, it is very good at not blocking its allies' fire.
Oh, that one ship from news miss got away right as something was about to hit its reactor.
Yeah, it was
Completely repairing.
almost a bad time. Beacon ship is very mobile, very moving fast.
That
It
fortress
is,
does take some serious damage, though.
it's been like fired at by 3 different ships for a while now. Still fine, of course.
Expect to see it head home at some point soon.
Oof. Nukes.
Oh, that nuke ship just on the Charlie completely missed its barrage.
Unfortunate.
Fired him into its own team.
Yeah, nukes are very difficult to hit small targets with, especially fast moving ones. Like even slight movement of a small target can completely dodge nukes.
See if Fortress ever gets back to repair, because it's starting to look like it's time to do
Start
that.
looking a little bit worse for wear. Like a
It's about
solid,
nothing left on that armor.
solid 2 layers of outermost armor just all gone.
Oh, Fortress just took a hit that took out its control room and yeah, that's dead.
Unfortunate. Served for an excellent amount of time.
Just one hit, I guess, perfectly managed to take him out.
Fortress and Chimera both fall at the main at Charlie Point. Well, they thought that Chimera fell. Still had a few shots left.
It's a burning control room. About to end it.
However, more of these heavier ships have spawned, and they're probably going to be killing a lot more small ships.
There's another Fortress out.
As well as 3 Chimera on the field.
One of the fortresses is getting attacked from behind, and nobody's noticed. Oh, it teleported away, but it's not good. be the best because it lost half its engines.
Well, it can serve as a pretty good stationary point to defend Alpha. Like it's as previously demonstrated at Charlie, it's going to take a pretty long time before it actually breaks. Oof, good nuke shots.
Oh my. That ship's still alive and can return though.
Yeah, it's not dead though. Better start warping home.
100% capable to run back. Those shots hitting them. Who's firing? Yeah, those shots landed and that could go badly.
No control room. Can't teleport back anymore. Okay, so I think the fortress might start having issues if it's being shot at by all sides.
So there's one thing targeting that control. Yep, control room's dead. It's got a vulnerable control room right at the back.
Exactly, very emblematic of the difference in strategies here, where it's like 6 ships against 1.
It's like would spare that internal armor to rearrange the control room back. Because that control room's been the weakness every time. Because the ship has just been like the whole entire ship's there, but the control room's not. Especially with a swarm surrounding you.
Let's see, so Bravo, Delta, and Elko have been held for a very long time by Team 1, Yellow. But Charlie and Alpha have been held by Team Crimson for the entire time, so I'm pretty sure that's still equal grounds for the both of them. Ansel sacrificing 2 ships to push a beacon out of the spawn zone for Team 1. Interesting. Another nuke drive-by, probably gonna be painful. Fortunately, not aimed properly, so it won't be any amount of damage, really.
When nukes hit Hansel Cat's nuke ship, that thing's just about done. But it can go back and completely repair.
Of course. Another EMP ship hits the field. The suppressor looks very nice. Oof. Narrowly dodges the nuke. And yeah, I'm surprised that they weren't making more use of the EMP ships. Like the last domination tournament, they were draconic with how effective they were. Just like destroying things left and right because everything was storage based.
See, there is. Yeah, this
They
game is staying pretty balanced.
they have
But
so much
because
range too.
the three that yellow are holding cap beats two, in 2 minutes, it's a yellow win.
I thought that the alpha counted for 2 unless it was like there's 6 points on the field, technically.
Yeah, then, oh yeah, I don't play domination much, so
I don't know either way either. So
I would not be surprised. It's in the middle and it's bigger, so
they're starting to really get a critical mass of the larger ships where it's like if you have enough of them, then you can't just flank because like behind one of them is just another one that's protecting it.
Delta's actually might might die. Seems like Cancel Cats is gonna take Delta. Oh, there's an EMP ship from A and D that just about disabled the
Oof.
beacon ship.
The nukes take out the nuke ship, very unimpressed with how CMPs were working.
Kept just using that beacon ship to send all those ships over.
To get really quick, rapid reinforcements.
There's
Ooh.
only a minute for Yellow to capture 2 points. That's not looking like it's going to happen, especially with all that contest on Delta.
Yeah, like even if they had Delta, it's still an uphill battle, but they don't have Delta.
Especially because Red Team has an advantage holding points because of all the small ships that will find a way to sneak in.
Yeah,
It's pretty
it's
much game.
you kind of need to conquer your opponent like before it gets to this state. Or before letting it get to the state at the end of the game. Oh, they lose another point.
Oh yeah, that's they could end up with a 4 to. Oh, Alpha's gone though.
Well, they're gonna lose Bravo though, so it's a trade-off.
Bravo just gets captured barely.
Yeah, I think that's
Wouldn't have changed it
it.
though. Yeah, that's so too late. Can't capture anything. Well, maybe if they. No, it's not going to be enough.
There's no way. There's no way. If there was a disconnect, I would still hand the win off to the relevant team.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
wait a
oh,
second.
hey.
I was wrong.
If they capture that and they hold on to Delta,
Oh, they're gonna get Bravo. They're gonna get Bravo. They got
oh,
Bravo. Never
that
give up.
is that you see, you never give up.
You never give
Run
up.